everybody, welcome or welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Taryn and I'm the owner of a small business called Mindful Beauty Creations where I hand make bath and body products to inspire you to prioritize self-care. So it's been a minute since I did a video between the holidays and me and my family being sick. It's been a really rough time. So in this video, I want to do a recap of my first market. By the time this video airs, it will have been about a month since I did my market. Again, really late getting this set up and posted. Holidays, being sick was awful. So I'm going to recap my market, talk about what went well, what I learned, because this was definitely a really good learning experience, and things that I think I will do better to improve for my next market. So let's get into it. All right, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. So overall, I think the market was a financial win. I made money back plus about 3 or 4 times that. So always a good win when you make your money back plus some. So overall, I think this was great. It was definitely a positive learning experience for me, and I will be doing another one. I think my table setup, I really liked my table setup, and I'll link a picture up in the corner somewhere so you guys can see what I'm talking about. My favorite thing about my table were the displays that I chose. Now, I found these displays on Amazon. They're acrylic displays, and they come in pieces like this. And these slats here, I don't know if you can see the slats, but they slide in, each piece slides in together. So there's no screws, nothing. So that's my favorite part about these, is that you can put them together, minimal effort, and then break them apart so they're easy for traveling. A lot of the displays I was seeing on Amazon, you had to screw them together, or they had these flimsy legs that might break when you travel, because once you screw them together, you don't want to keep screwing them and unscrewing them, because you might strip the head of the screw and then you're screwed and you can't put it back together. So I love these because the pieces just fit within each other, and then they break down at the end of the day. They're easy to transport, put them away. You're not worried about them getting broken. So this was the favorite thing that I had on my table, and that I thought was really efficient. The one downside, I will say, is that I wish the company that made these sold bigger sizes. They just had this one size, which was fine. I ended up buying 4 of these, and I'll put a picture up in the corner of what they look like when they're actually all put together. But I ended up purchasing 4 of them. I might go back and get 1 or 2 more. I'm thinking about how I want to display things for my next market. I might go get a couple more, but I wish they were a little bit bigger, because if they were, I wouldn't have to have so many on the table, and I could fit a little bit more product on them. But displays, definite plus. I will put a picture of where I got them from Amazon so you guys can try them out for yourself. Highly recommend. I also chose to have testers of my whipped body butter. So I got these little teeny spatulas so people can try them out, and I had a clean bucket and a dirty bucket on the table. I thought that was a hit. So folks could come, they could smell all the different scents that I offered, they could test it out, see how it felt on their skin. People really like that. So I do think I will keep doing that moving forward in my markets. I had plenty of product. So that was another win. I was definitely well prepared, although I put that on the lessons learned as well, which I'll get to in a second. But I didn't run out of product. I had plenty available for folks to buy, which was good as well. Let's see, what else I think was good. My display was good. I think my setup was good. Onto some things that I learned and will definitely do better with in the future is to give myself more time to prepare. Now, caveat to that is, while I was preparing in the few weeks leading up to the market, I also got sick again. So it's that time of the year. I have school-age children, and Any of you who are parents know that kids bring home the germs. So I was sick right before the market, so I lost quite a few days to prepare. But as I was preparing, I noticed an issue with my labels, which I will get to that in a second. But had I had more time to prepare, I would have been able to change course a little bit to alleviate that problem. But main thing, give yourself more time to prepare when you're doing markets. I made a lot of product all at once, which this was my first time doing that. So I have written down some things I want to invest in the future that can make things a little bit more efficient, speed up productivity. So I definitely have a list of things that I want to invest in just to make life a little bit easier when I have to make large batches of product all at one time. What else did I learn? To better prepare when I need to make such a large item. So I had ran out of some of my raw ingredients, and it was right before, it was probably the week or so before Black Friday that I realized, oh my goodness, I'm running out of one of my key ingredients to make my whipped body butter, and I had to order some more. So prepare for that. So timing is everything. I wanted to order from a certain vendor, but that vendor that I usually get all of my ingredients from would not have gotten it to me in the time that I needed it to make sure that I had everything made in time for the market. So I had to order from somebody else who could ship it to me a little bit faster. But with that cutting down on the shipping time, it was an increase in the cost of the product. So I had to spend a little extra money to get that raw material so I would have it on time to make my products. So lessons learned, check your inventory and give yourself more time. That is the biggest thing that I learned, is prepare early. Another thing that I didn't do, which I wish I did better, was record content. I was so nervous with this being my first market. I was down to the last minute getting everything ready. I ended up leaving my house 20 minutes later than I had anticipated to make sure I made it there on time. I still made it there in plenty of time to set up, but I just wish I had given myself some more time to properly prepare so I didn't feel so rushed, because this was my first time doing it, I didn't realize how much needed to be done. So that saying, you don't know what you don't know. That's how I felt. And now that I know what it's going to take, I know what I need to do, I can definitely prepare better next time. One of the things, and again, I'm looking down at my notes, one of the things that was definitely a struggle for me were my labels. So right now, I print my labels at home and I cut them with my Cricut. So this was one of the biggest takeaways for me. I right now have been using the Amazon brand koala paper, and none of this is sponsored. I purchased all of this on my own. This is my honest opinion and my real experience with what has been happening with me printing labels at home. So I use the glossy sticker paper. And if you have a Cricut or a cutting machine at home and you make your own labels, or even if you make stickers, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So when you print your labels, there are black registration marks that print on the paper that your cutting machine needs to read in order to be able to cut out whatever your sticker, what your label, whatever you're doing. It needs to be able to read those registration marks. The struggle that I ran into a few days before trying to prepare for this market was my labels were not printing properly. For whatever reason, my printer stopped liking the koala vinyl sticker paper. And I don't know if you can see it, but this is an example of what it started doing. These registration marks here it's cutting it off. So this is an example of what it's not supposed to look like. And let me show you an example of what it's supposed to look like. So this isn't glossy, but do you see how the registration marks fully print? There's about a 1/2 inch at the top of the page. The Cricut needs space to read these marks. And if those marks don't print, like in this example, it can't cut it. When I was preparing for this market, this was my first time printing so many product labels all at one time. I was doing 1 or 2 pages here or there, and it was printing just fine when it was just 1 or 2 pages. But when I had to print a lot, for whatever reason, my printer doesn't like this paper. It started getting stuck, so my paper was jammed, or if it wasn't getting jammed, it was printing and not printing out the registration marks like this. I suffered through it, and I was able to get it done in time for the market, but it was a struggle. What I have now decided to do from there, I have purchased pre-cut labels from the company Online Labels. Again, not sponsored. I purchased this with my own money. I have purchased a different type of labels from Online Labels before. They are matte, I think 2 by 3 inch labels is what I use to package up my soaps. I love those. They have been working excellent for me. So I decided to get the glossy white sticker paper. The size I got, I think, was 7 by 2, which is what I needed for my product labels. I purchased those. I'm gonna try those out, and fingers crossed that they work. They are waterproof and oil resistant. I'm hoping that I really like them, because if I do, then I will be switching to these pre-cut labels, and that'll cut me down on some time. So I won't have to design everything. Well, I design within Canva no matter what, but I won't have to upload everything into Cricut Design Space, print it, make sure the registration marks print, then take it down to my Cricut and cut it out. I'm looking to skip all those steps and be a little bit more efficient, and hopefully I can just print it on the pre-cut labels from Online Labels and it works. So I have those labels here. Before we get into printing out the labels and testing out my new things from Online Labels, another thing I learned is to make sure you understand the type of event you are going to. Now, I will say, again, this was my first time doing a market, so you don't know what you don't know. And I'm thinking it's right before the holidays. I need to make sure I'm well stocked, which I was. However, I will say, for the size of this event and the volume of traffic that came through this event, I definitely brought too much stuff with me. Good thing was I had help. My husband came with me, so that was definitely a good thing. A lesson I learned that I need to keep doing moving forward: take somebody with you, because you're definitely going to need help, whether it's help carrying stuff, help setting up, being able to take a quick break to go use the bathroom, or just being able to grab something quick to eat if you're at the market for quite a while. Take someone with you. So that was definitely a plus that I took my husband with me. And had he not been going with me, I would not have been able to carry all of the supplies that I had brought with me in a timely manner, because I underestimated how heavy product gets when you pack it all up together. So again, my first time doing this, not really thinking about that, but that's definitely a lesson learned on me, that I need to really understand, or at least anticipate, how much traffic there's going to be at the event and how much I truly need to bring with me. I think the amount of stuff that I brought with me would have been more suitable if I was doing a market at like a big festival or something. Then I really needed all that. But I didn't need anywhere near as much as I brought. I probably would have gotten away with half of what I brought. But again, first market, I didn't know. And lesson learned, now I know, just pay a little bit more of attention. And this was a smaller market and I didn't need to have everything with me that I brought. However, it's always good to be over prepared than under prepared. So at least I didn't bring less and then I sold out before the market was even over. So it was a good thing that I had more and I had plenty there, but I definitely needed the help to carry it and I didn't really need to bring everything that I brought. So I was over prepared. I will tell you that is in my nature. I'm a project manager by day. That's my career, my daytime. So I overplan. Like planning is just what I do for a living. But I definitely, if I do this market again, which I think I will, it was absolutely nothing wrong with the market. It was just smaller than I expected. I was thinking because it was a couple weeks before the holidays that I really needed to be prepared in case people were there shopping for Christmas. I brought too much product with me on purpose, I will say, because I was anticipating folks spending a little bit more because it was the holiday season. But if I do this market again, I know I can probably cut it in half and bring half of what I brought and still would have been perfectly fine. So that was another lesson learned for me, is to prepare for the volume of traffic that the event should get. Other than that, let's get to testing out online labels and seeing whether or not I like them and if I'm going to make the switch. And this is how I might be printing labels in the future. Let's try it out. All right, it's been a few days since I originally planned to test out the labels I purchased from Online Labels. Life got in the way, kids, school, all that good stuff. So I'm back and we are going to test out those labels today. I am online. Online Labels has a design software called Maestro, so I'm on that platform right now and I am importing some of my product labels, and let's see if I like the way they turn out. Let me get that one in here right now and let's print it out and see how it works. So right now I'm just importing the image and making sure it's sized well before I go ahead and print it. Let me get that centered. All right, that looks good. All right, let's give this a print. See how it turns out? Fingers crossed that I like this. It'll save me time. I won't have to print and then cut things with the Cricut anymore. Hopefully this paper is water and oil proof and I won't have to laminate anymore. I'm so nervous. I hope I like it. I hope it works. All right, let's see how it prints. All right, first impressions. I think I like it. They printed well within the sticker. So first impressions, I really think I like. Nothing is misaligned. I had trouble with labels misaligning when I tried the brand Avery labels, and nothing looks misaligned. Everything looks like it printed good. Print quality printed good. So next thing I'm gonna do is these labels on a product and do a waterproof test, but just rubbing my fingers across it. Nothing is smudging. Everything looks good. So impression, I think I like these. What I'm going to try next is to print multiple sheets at a time, because when I was using the koala paper, I couldn't print more than one sheet at a time. I don't know if it was because that paper was thicker and my printer just hated it. I have an HP inkjet printer and my printer hated the koala paper. I could put one page in at a time and it would suck it up. But then, like I showed you guys before, it started misaligning the registration marks. So I'm gonna put a couple of sheets of paper, see if it gives it any trouble sucking up more than one thing at a time. This paper does feel thinner than the koala paper, so I think my printer will be okay. So that's the next test, or waterproof, and printing multiple sheets at one time and seeing how that works. So I'll do that, come back to you, let you guys know what I think about it. All right, so we're in the studio getting ready to get these new labels on the products. I will say, one thing I noticed, and you guys won't be able to tell because you're not looking at my computer screen, but the pinks and the purples printed out a little darker than I made them when I designed them on Canva. So they look a little different on my computer screen. It's not bad, but I might have to tweak it a little and see what happens. But I don't hate it. It just looks different. But the purpose of this was to get these so I don't have to cut them out anymore with the Cricut and label them. And I do like how the corners are rounded. I think that looks so cute. I don't know if you can see it, but I think I'm liking it so far. So I'm going to get these all labeled and then work on taking product photos to get these on the website. That is today's mission. Look at that. I think it turned out amazing. So I am going to do a little water test. Wet these and see if they really are waterproof like they're supposed to be. So stay tuned. That'll be the next test to see if I'm permanently going to switch to online labels. I hope so, because it'll definitely save me some time. No more printing and cutting and laminating, but we'll see. All right, so I don't know if you can see the water droplets, but I just ran this under some water. I rubbed my hands all over it. So let's see if the ink smudges. It didn't when I rubbed my hands over it, but let's wipe it off. It still looks all right, because you know these are sugar scrubs, so they'll be in the shower. So your hands are going to be wet while you're touching it. And it still looks fine. So I think I have a winner. And I think I'm going to switch to these. I'm very excited because this will save me a lot of time for minimal additional cost. So I think we're going with these.